So, hi everybody. This is Catherine again, and I'm going to be talking about House of Cards season 1 through 5. And so here is a scene from House of Cards, uh, season 5. Okay, so let me tell you what I think. Season 1 was without a doubt the best season. It had the most interesting characters. Uh, It had the best plot line, and you didn't quite know what to expect. Season 2 was still pretty good, but halfway through, it kind of got lost within a really convoluted storyline of money laundering, which I don't know about you guys, but I didn't fully understand the whole plot line. Season 3, um, like there was nothing about season 3 that was really interesting. Like the characters uh, weren't even like characters like Zoe Barnes weren't even mentioned once. Um, it was focused more on Rachel Posner, which I do like her character, but it was okay. Season 4 picked up a little bit. I really liked the hallucination scenes in season 4. They were really cool. I liked the surreal feel to them. Obviously, they are surreal, and the nice thing with hallucinations is that you could be freaking surreal. You could go freaking out there because it was just that cool. Season 5. Okay, here is season 5. Okay, and as you can see, people here are protesting the fact that the election has not gone their way. Actually, the election did go their way, but Frank Underwood basically stole the election away from William Conway. Oh, he's a. These people are exceptionally good at chanting. I mean, they got this down flat. I mean, it's almost like they're rehearsed. Just say. No, very good.
People are angry. 9 weeks ago, we had an election in this country, but because 2 states refused to certify, neither Conway nor myself received the 270 electoral votes required.
Yeah, so he's explaining. So obviously he is explaining what happened, and this scene is actually quite interesting because he's breaking the fourth wall, but he's obviously not. It's almost like I think he's supposed to be like imagining he's in the middle of this crowd, because if he actually were walking through this crowd, uh, people would notice the president of the United States walking through a crowd of people. So I assume this is him imagining that he's walking through the crowd.
For victory. So they gather here every morning to exercise their magnificent right, guaranteed by the First Amendment, to let their angry voices be heard.
Yeah, like, look, yeah, so clearly they're unaware that he's there. Okay, I've already established that fact.
And so, thanks.
This scene could be real. However, it's kind of hard to say because there are no security guards around him, which is very interesting. You'd think if he was walking around in public, there'd be security guards. So this could him be imagining too.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, and half of January have come and gone, and all 3 branches of government are in crisis. The Congress is in disarray, the Supreme Court is down to justice and doomed to deadlock, and the executive branch is without a boss. You see...
So this here is the Washington Monument, obviously. I actually went there, and here's an interesting fact. The Washington Monument and this reflecting pool look like they're really close together. They're actually not. They're actually really far apart. The idea that they look close together is actually just an optical illusion. I do know that because I have actually been to Washington, D.C. Ah,
His law, I mean, at a certain point, you just have to sign off and cross your goddamn fingers and hope for the best. Or adopt flippism, a pseudo-philosophy of life in which the most important decisions are made by the flipping of a coin. It was first introduced in the Disney comic book Flip Decision, one of my favorites, in which Donald Duck is persuaded by Professor Batty to make all the most important decisions based on the flipping of a coin. Life is but a gamble. Let flippism guide your ramble. We've had this sort of trouble.
wow. So yeah, this is quite interesting here too. So I think he's still imagining because there are no security guards around him for some reason. He's just walking around randomly with no security guards. I have a hard time believing that the President of the United States would be walking around Washington, D.C. with no security. I don't think that would happen.
Before the election of 1800, Jefferson versus Burr, they wound up in a tie, 73 electoral votes each. That was the number required then. And that's when Congress tried to address what the Founding Fathers just couldn't imagine. And poof, the 12th Amendment was born. And it's...
Is this scene is it just me, or is this scene feeling a bit like a tourist guide for Washington, D.C.? It's like, oh look, here's all the monuments. There's the White House. And then they had the Jefferson Memorial, and I believe this is also the Jefferson Memorial.
says that if the states don't certify, it's the House that chooses the president and the Senate that chooses the vice president.
Another, like, one of my biggest issues with House of Cards Season 5, so there was two new characters, Mark Burnett and Jane Davies. Like, I didn't really care about either of these two characters. Okay, let me show you them, just so you know who I'm talking about. House of... No. Of Cards. Oh wait, sorry. Sorry, I confused. Mark Usher, that's his name. It's not Mark Burnett. It is Mark Usher. So here's Mark Usher right here. I did not find him to be a remotely interesting character. Like, there's nothing about him that was interesting or new, and what the fuck is with this turtleneck? Seriously? A fucking turtleneck? Oh. Excuse my French. A turtleneck. Who wears turtlenecks? Anyway. And the other character that's new is Jane Davies, this woman here. Same thing. Like, Jane Davies and Mark Burnett are almost like male and female versions of the same character. They both had roughly the same job. They're both like these political schemers who were just very boring characters, and I honestly did not find either of them remotely interesting. The other character here, that he's not new, obviously. This is Tom Yates. I did not find Tom Yates remotely interesting either. He is like almost like Zoe Barnes. If Zoe Barnes had absolutely no personality whatsoever. That's what this guy kind of reminds me of, to be honest with you. He's Zoe Barnes minus the personality. Okay. Let's go back here.
Now, the House is a bit of a mess, but the Senate is rather democratic in how they choose the VP. One person, one vote. But if there's a tie, and this is where Donald Duck comes in, it's resolved by the toss of a coin. A solution that's elegant as hell, but then there's no elegance in modern politics.
So like I said, though I do like the fact that they brought back Tom Hammerschmidt. He is actually a very good character. I really liked him. And he does have a personality, unlike the other characters who have no personality. And, you know, I wish they brought back Freddie Hayes. You know, the barbecue man. They did not bring him back. And, okay, so that is, so like I said, I was to put the House of Cards season 5 from one, so season 1 was my favorite, season 2 was my second favorite, and then season 4, and then season 3, then season 5 was my least favorite. Um, so that is my opinion on this. Thank you very much. Let's Thank you very much for watching my show, my channel. Thank you.